Why I don't play Smash anymore. This isn't really supposed to be a teardown video per se. It's not even supposed to say that like Smash in general is bad. It's just to really give my thoughts on why I sort of fell out through the series. And don't get me wrong, it took a while. I was still playing it even though I was in college. The memories and friends that I gained along the way are appreciated. However, I moved on to other pastures, so I just want to explain why. To get on the right foot, I guess we gotta set the baseline for what Smash is. When I talk about Smash, I really refer to like Smash 4 and Ultimate. Nothing really against Melee, but I've had no reason to fully invest into it. Like, there's not really a lot of people that are willing to play or learn with me anyway, and even basic movements like wave dashing that I've done in the game is a huge time investment. So unless this changes or I get more time, I won't be playing or referencing Melee. So with that, let's get into the main course. Gimmicks. Oh, of course the Rushdown Revolt player talks about gimmicks. The amount of dick sucking in this video is gonna be insane. Well, it's true, okay? I like Rushdown Revolt and I like Rivals, and they're very good at giving gimmicks. So it's like, what do you expect? Most characters either have a bar that they can use as resources, or they have a lot of variety in their kits. For example, there's Afi and Galu, and then there's Ezzy. Let's look at the Tiki Brothers and compare them to something like Ice Climbers. When you play the Tiki Brothers, your level of awareness has to be very high, because as much as having two characters can help you, it also harms you. Since you can change between characters, the opponent can interact with the inactive one and make your positioning worse until you lose a stock. But the trade-off is that your combos can happen almost out of nowhere, and an opponent can quite literally step on you and get comboed. So this gimmick, like most Rushdown Revolt's gimmick, has utility and creativity at the forefront, kind of like Rivals. But compare this to a character like Ice Climbers or even Rosalina and Luma. It's just not the same. Managing weaknesses aren't really the same compared to Rushdown Revolt. So if Luma is gone, you can just wait around to get it back. And if you have something like the Ice Climbers, you can do as much damage as you can before getting them back when you lose a stock. The depth of combos is usually only tied to like fundamentals and figuring out how to desync appropriately. Which, you know, is cool, but it's something I don't prefer, because these quote-unquote gimmicks have no depth, and honestly teeters on me saying that like they aren't really gimmicks at all. And if that's the case, the only character in Smash Bros that has a gimmick that I would say consistently is probably Peach, and that's like very low count, even if you included 4 more guys. Maybe in the next game they can actually like have gimmicks tied to the characters to make them a lot more unique. But for right now, I don't think it's ever gonna happen, and it's one of the reasons why I'm out of the game. Mechanical hell. Now, I don't really know whether I blame the higher-ups or Sakurai himself for these problems. Even if you wanted to say that Sakurai has had a change of heart for the competitive nature of Smash, I'd say otherwise. I know it's like a big meme at this point, but just remember, Brawl was a thing, and dash dancing literally was a negative in that game. I know it's changed, but I'm just saying. But that's not what I'm talking about right now. I'm talking about like adjusting for casual and competitive players. What do I mean? Okay, so wave dashing. Why isn't it in these games? Seriously, why? Because casuals will get stomped by it? A casual isn't going to get stomped by a competitive player because he can wave dash. He's going to get stomped because that player is just better than him. You can change or add mechanics all you want that will make casuals potentially lose less, but all you're really doing is shitting on competitive players for essentially existing. There shouldn't be a half and half when each type of player isn't going to interact with each other anyway. A casual wouldn't want to play games that don't have items. They also shouldn't be trying to change or shame competitive players for playing the game a certain way, because again, you'll never interact with that game that way anyway. So, with that, why does Sakurai himself insist on not giving us mechanics in order to make the game more fun? Just put them in and justify it with that casuals simply won't do these moves and ignore them anyway. At that point, add in some cool stuff like wave dashing and stop it with this half and half nonsense. It doesn't work, it just makes us not have fun. What the fuck? At that point, I also hate some inclusions, like parry. Not for what it does, but for what it doesn't do. See, parry doesn't reflect projectiles. It also doesn't give enough time for a counterattack, so if your buttons aren't fast enough, you might as well just do something else. The way it's done also annoys me. I have to hold the button first. Meanwhile, it was way more simple and gave more benefits in Smash 4 with power shielding. I just hate that with Ultimate, it feels like rather than adding more depth, we kind of just lost it, which gets me so nostalgic for Smash 4 sometimes. Cause sure, it's clunky, it's slow, but at least there was a lot of depth you can accomplish, and even then, there still could have been more even in that game. I wouldn't be surprised if the future of the next Smash game just does something abnormal, like just getting rid of parries just cuz. Sakurai's track record when it comes to like mechanics is not good. Luck. Okay, so I never really liked luck in video games in general, so giving it to a fighting game honestly just makes me hurt inside even more. I don't know how most people think. I can only infer based on the info that I know. So I'd say that most of you listening right now think I just hate fun because I don't like luck. Whenever someone gets a 9 or someone gets hit by Stitch Face, I just think it's not hype. Well, that's half true. It's hype because it barely happens, but it's not hype because it's good. See, when I look at lucky moves, I always kind of just think about how they could be designed differently, or how you could keep the high volume of the move, but change the result of it. So, base it on some type of skill, basically. Maybe you can hold down until an animation plays to pick up Stitch Face, or slowly get a number high enough to go 9, a la Pac-Man style. But this sort of thing gets really worse when a character is simply tied to it, like Hero. I already know there's controversy of Hero's abilities being random, about it being an unfair advantage. I also think about what if Sakurai just made it progressional. Not only is it more skill intensive, but a person could just study the amount of times the moves have been used and make a prediction of what can happen, rather than it being completely random if, say, you were using a different language. It just doesn't make any sense. A small little side tangent, but why is teleport just rewarding you for no reason for Hero? Like, if you're near the edge, you going through your menu and getting teleport has a higher chance. Not only does it have a higher chance, but there's no end lag for if you actually do it, and it's pretty safe when you come back. How in the blue fuck does that make any sense? Why are you being rewarded for no reason? Why do you get a jail out of free card by just complete chance instead of actual skill? What the fuck? Transformations and super moves. I'll only talk about the legal ones, so the ones that you get with the Smash Ball or the Final Smash meter, that won't count. Everything else is fair game though. I particularly hate it when something is more powerful than others, just in general. So, especially when it comes to like little drawbacks that happen because of it. There's definitely a list of characters I could talk about when I'd say something that represents this, but I think the one character that I hate the most that represents this very well is just Joker. I wasn't that good at the game, and, you know, I didn't get top 8, but when I went to locals to play, and then I just completely shit on Joker players, only for them to activate Arsene and just counterattack immediately, that really fucking sucks. Simply by the character being better, I lost. There was nothing different that the opponent did. There was no sort of download. There was just, oh, I'm the best now. Fun. Fun and fair. What a fucking joke. And that goes to every character that has this sort of thing, where they just turn into a better character and then all of a sudden you're just fucked. Simply because they have better moves than you. This part, short and sweet. Why the hell can Sora use up B and then side B, or vice versa, but my boy Ganondorf can't? I'm being serious, like, not just Ganondorf, but like, why do most of these characters can't do that, but yet Sora can? I fucking hate DLC privilege.